Great. We're live. Thanks for watching the VOD. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, as always, for all of the comments and questions and stuff on the VODs. Try to take a look at them. I feel bad because we've gotten to the point now where there's been so many over the last bit that it's kind of just stacked up. There will be comments that I never respond to. I've probably seen them. I just haven't had a chance to respond to them. So if you commented months ago, apologies. Yeah, that's where we're at. We'll wait and see if people roll in. If not, that's fine too. Oh shit. There's Baloo. What's up, Simon? Good to see you, buddy. Azrimski, Barathas, Gunnavolf, Thadvik, Canaway, Humjum, Olga Dev, Orcish, Chaz Solo. What's going on? Chaz Solo. I've been kind of channeling my inner Chaz. Been working on how much should I show or not show? It's kind of weird because I don't think I've really shown something like this on stream before, so I'll try to. I mean, it's gonna get spoiled either way, right? I'll just give you a quick peek since you guys are early. Then the rest of the people they won't get a chance to see it. See nothing. I'm not showing you. You'll have to watch the VOD, lady. House Panth. Just a quick sneak peek. Bjorn and I are working on a little quick something. That's what I mean by channeling my inner Chaz. Burlesque Eminem, yeah. That's what it is. You're gonna see my dance moves. Take it all off and show it all. I'm typing. What? Soulful Gamer. My wife is reading over my shoulder. You don't want to see the belly dance. How long's it been since you've seen Goonies? I'll be doing the truffle shuffle. Sewers? Maybe, but to what city? But to what city is the question? Corinthia, hello. Brobonic. Rogar. Craft 0013, what's going on? Hey, Nerve-wrecked. Timote. Hey, Byreal. Manicotti. What's going on, guys? How was your week so far? What's up, Chinny? What? We got Chinny in here and we got Simon in here. It's like the dream team. Were the Road Warriors WWE or WWF? I think they were WWF before it was the WWE. Hey, Searcha. Yeah, so how are you guys doing? Did the week treat you okay? Did you make it through? Are you still... Is it still in progress, I guess, for you guys? Oh, speaking of poop, I probably need to run the lottery, huh? The Friday lottery. Is your name Disenchanted? First time chatter. Hey, Schnapps. Nice. Corinthia said, been getting my fall garden planning going, plus started leveling a paladin for the eventual rework. Oh, nice. I forget. Is it Lily Restor? How am I supposed to say that again? I want to say it right. Oh man, I actually have to log in. Lily's Rest Tour. That's easy enough to remember. The new beast is love hate for you, Pipes. Well, as long as there's a little love in there, that works. Let me turn down the music in my ears. Because I told her lands, rezzing people. That makes an infinite amount of sense. I'm going to blank out my screen for a second because I don't remember where I last had this application open. I'm about to open an application. I don't necessarily want you to be looking at my stuff. Since I got to log into something. Humdrum said my week of work just ended. Nice. So it's 9:20 my time. That means it's 3 on the East Coast, yeah? Fallen Past Stable should be renamed after Lily. Is that where the corpses are dragged? Someone's up late. It'll be a later night for me, but it's Friday. I've got to go out of town for a wedding tomorrow. So I feel bad if I didn't get at least one stream in. Somebody in the YouTube comments for one of the shorts had mentioned that we're no longer a transparent company. So I felt guilty all day that I don't stream more. Sorry about not being transparent anymore. We're hiding all the things, as they say on the internet. All the things. I've got to look up a code that gets sent to me. The rug. We pulled the rug. Sorry, guys. You know what would be awesome? This is off the cuff. It's a off the cuff Friday statement. If somebody was, if any of you are like really, really wealthy, not rich, like legit wealthy, like we're not even talking Oprah rich. We're talking people whose name you don't know, wealthy. Like people you just don't know about. That kind of money. Like so much money, your name doesn't exist on the internet. No one knows about you. Old money. Like old, Lovecraftian old. It could have originally been blue collar, but like back when blue collar could then murder a few people and invent a thing, and I'd probably kill some inventors and take their things, and then have like a moonshine business and then sell entire countries armaments for wars. Like that level of money. If you are out there listening right now, just by some odd chance, and Chronic, I'll come back to your buff question in a second. Yeah, tuning in from your secret space station a la a William Gibson book where you're in like some preservation vat in space. If you are an Eminem fan and you are that level of like eldritch rich, I haven't discussed this with a team. It's just a Friday off the cuff, seat of the pants kind of, sort of Rothschild's rich. So the team, I haven't discussed it with them, but they'll probably be okay. If you want to just buy Eminem outright and have it go live and we never take money for it, it's a free game. Not even free to play. No upsells, No box fee, no subscription price, no additional microtransactions on top of that. We would just make the game free. Take care of the team. I'll be honest with you. I don't even need anything out of it. I don't need any of the money back. Take care of the team. Make sure that they've got, it was worth their while. And then we make the game free. If you're that level of wealthy that we can pull that off, do whatever it is that wealthy people do to communicate. Like send my window upstairs open. The pigeons are always out there. Send a pigeon. Have a person show up at the door. It's fine. I'll even give them tea. We're polite company. If they show up like in a chauffeur's outfit and they just have like the box with the, it wouldn't even be money, right? It'd be like a jewel. What would it be like? What would it cost, Caranthea? It wouldn't be horribly, terribly expensive. We just got to make sure the team's taken care of and that we can maintain development on the game in perpetuity. And that, you know, we can discuss like a finite term there, right? It doesn't have to be, if they're taken care of, then they can perpetuate or not. They can stick around. But then the game's just free. Then you can see the Discord headline now. Sean sells out to communism while Rug pulling himself. Would that be communism? Wouldn't it be to like a super wealthy, lives in a space station person? I don't know that that's communism. I think that's the opposite. Or maybe it's the origin of. I don't know. I don't want to get too political. But anyway, the reason... How would one contact you directly now? Can't DM on Discord? Yeah, you can. You can DM me on Discord. Everybody DMs me on Discord. I get wild DMs. Like, how do I open a pickle jar? Hey, Zukin. It is a little late for us. But anyway, because the thought then is that we could continue to make the game without running into a situation in which there's still any obligation for you to like it. We're just making the game. Or not like it. We would just be making the game. That would be such an interesting scenario, right? Because it's just like, you know, people, whether there's 50 people playing or 50,000 people playing, it just wouldn't matter because we're continuing to make the game. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, if you are Eldritch Rich, you know, I have to discuss it with the guys. I mean, I can't make that decision on my own. But if you got like that Lovecraft Elder God money, well, that's new trim. All right, so what are we doing? What I love about working on the internet is that even that just last little bit of silliness will get turned into some sort of a OMG, what is he doing? Hey, Gulo Gulo, Atomic Frog. Irish 451 said, you're here for the quickie. Well, you are in the right place. Game feels good, Sean. I'll take one Eminem shirt and one rug. Right on, T-Dangle. Appreciate the continued nice feedback from some folks. Hey, Cad. I got to scroll all the way back up because I promised someone I would answer their question about... who was it? I missed where Zal said getting done setting up servers for a core conversion. I'm ready for some chill M&M time this weekend. Do you work at a nuclear power plant? What is a core conversion? Cubby, you own an HVAC company? Move to Europe, you'll make bazillions of euros. Hey, Brutu. Fun fact, you can go to Westside Bank and rug pull, won't find any money though under the rug. Really? Did Loki put that in there? Barathos, that sounds about right. Your kid just finished HVAC school. Oh, right on. That's actually that's badass. That is badass. Learning a trade is amazing. I'm scrolling back up. I haven't forgotten. Still scrolling up. Okay, there it is. Chronic 1904 asks, quick question about buffs. What are the chances we get a UI under the targeted player to see the buffs and timers? I'm not a huge fan of having to use the spell slot for show magic. I love the game. Can't wait till October. That's one where I know that we discuss it. We discuss stuff like this every once in a while. You guys, not you guys, but maybe some other people on the internet have this like sense that we don't discuss this shit and like ever like occasionally question, hey, do we want to, do we maybe want to try this? And sometimes we mock stuff up and we look at it and sometimes we're like, ah, man, I still not feeling it. Don't like what that's doing. Don't like the presentation on it. So far, that's where we've landed. You just got to use your sense magic and then you get that nice little text breakdown. Even just a little box similar to EQ1. Just, I don't know. You can, if you've got a favorite version of that, shoot me a DM on Discord and show me your favorite version of it. And I'll take a look. But we don't promise anything. You know what I mean? I would hope that counts for something. We're not people that are like try to bullshit you where we're, oh, I never turned the screen back on, did I? I'm just talking over a blank ass screen. All right, we're safe now. I need to run the lottery. Zal said it's more of a migrating a database to a new format for a business, in this case a bank. Well, that's probably not stressful. Dealing with bank databases. Black screen stream is chill. Maybe we need to do that. Burn Time said, hey, yo, I'm the Deep Dwarf Reddit post guy you responded to. Thank you. Hey, thanks for the nice response to my response, buddy. Zukin is the person I was thinking of when I responded to your post. I always mess it up. Is it the traditional? I always want to just say deep now. Underdark dwarves. Is it pronounced Dorgar? I got to get back into my audiobooks. I got to finish up the current Dark Elf audiobook. Maybe they talk about and I'll get the pronunciation again. I think it's a Dwegar. Okay. Let me look it up real quick and see if just I can phonetic it again. Or is it Dwagar? Give me a pronunciation, please, Wikipedia. Dwagar, they say in BG3. Dwagar? Okay, we'll go with that then. I'm cool with that. Anyways, I've mentioned this before to Zukin, so I don't think it's a shock. But I do think eventually when we've got the ability to, when we've got the resources, I think dwarves that live in the deep, that aren't deep dwarves, which eventually need to get a proper name that you guys are familiar with, similar to the Cylindrine or the Aeltrist and things like that. But like some options that allow us to convey some dwarves that have just been like hanging out and staying in the deep the whole time, I think would be cool for sure. And they wouldn't preclude, like deep dwarves don't preclude having those by any means, in my opinion. Deep Squats raided me. Deep Squats, my secret surprise for this Friday was going to be that I was going to raid you if you're still on. There's so much cool deep stuff to do. It's such a big area. There's so much opportunity. The Underdocks is just such a stellar, beautiful zone. Aelvarith is coming along splendidly. I was just in there with Ivan this week, actually, looking up. Sorry. I was just in there. Well, now I can't say his GM name because then I'll dox him. I was just in there with somebody this week and we were looking around and they've been slapping textures on stuff and it's looking good, man. I'm super excited about the deep. Yeah, the thing that I showed very briefly that we're kind of sneakily working on, that I gave you a little peek at, is it's related to deep stuff. So I'll give you another peek again. Whoop, peek. Don't worry, all that's going to change. I actually need to hop in there and like check proportions and stuff and see if the map I did is even valid. We'll see. I've been trying to do this one on a grid in a more structured way so that if we've got a scale and add to it or whatever, or we're making a POIs a bit bigger, then it'll translate well. So yeah, it would be, it's not aimed at Underdocks, though there's plenty of stuff that can and will happen over in that area as well. But it would be below sea level for the Great Cavern Sea. Will there be sewer themed area where we encounter surface dweller turds? Well, it's interesting because one of the things that's been on my mind a lot lately is getting in some deep elf camps and stuff, and maybe like a little deep elf area that has got like a deep elf shifty, shady vendor and things, because now we're going to start running into the issue of if you're coming from AV over to like the Night Harbor area and some of the content zones there, dungeons there, where's your bind points and stuff like that, right? But I've been saying for a while now that as we get all of the races online, as we start to get more NPCs online, you're going to see us backfill areas within the like existing world that with mobs you haven't seen before, right? It's just how the world's going to evolve over time. So I meant to say, I'm so dad. Thank you for the follow. About 10 minutes ago. Welcome, Deep Squats' people. Boo845 asked Yo-Yo, can I ask where the US PvP server is going to be located? I'm on the EU, but I've come to terms that I might end up playing on the US server for the PvP experience. I think for that reason, probably East Coast. Atomic Frog said, I thought the blank screen was a metaphor for my non-existent gaming time. Well, you know what? If you stopped being so diligent and helping out with petitions in the queue, then you could game a little bit more. were you not a part of the recent group? So we just had a group have their first beginning playtest in Fall and Watch. So a group from the team. So that was cool to watch. I skimmed through that video. Fallen Pass has been having significant lag issues lately. Any chance the team is aware and looking into it? Is it everybody? There was like a phantom lag hitch that was popping up that we're trying to track down. Anyone on that team need a res there? We're excited to get more people in. Speak GG said, hey Sean, any plans on restricting Soulbind to cities only? No plans at the moment. Why would you? Who all would prefer that? I think a lot of casters would not be happy with that. Are you a PvP person? Are you a PvP inclined individual? Can't wait to see Underdogs for real. I'm so excited for you guys to start running in and out of the Underdogs. I can't wait to start to see how that changes things up. It's gonna be a different vibe for sure once people are using the Underdogs more. I need to recline my chair a little bit. I thought I was gonna have a better posture, but I feel like I'm sitting like a goon. Let me scroll up. The Hearst said, crossing my fingers and toes, my dad gets a beta key in the next lottery. He came over and was blown away with how fun the game was. He sat down and played a Necro for a few hours and said it was unique and magical as when he first saw his brother playing at the Aviac Towers in 1999, the Hearst said. Did he opt in? And when he opted in, did he fill in his Discord name? And did he also give a little reason why he wanted to get in? I'm going to tell you guys the secret. This is going to be a Friday stream secret. Every once in a while, if I've got like only 10 minutes or whatever, I will open up the opt-ins and I'll just scroll through them. Swanee has made it so that I can sort forward, backwards. So I like to go all the way back to when it started, like December or whatever, and just run through and look, and I'll flag some people, and then I'll skip around and I'll, you know, take a little look and see who's in there, and I flag people at random. But we need to run. That's, I mean, one of the perks. Because I like reading what you guys, I like reading what a lot of you have written up. Lily is an angel. Lily is everywhere rezzing. That is so nice to hear. Shitty Player Killer said, we've been having a lot of lag in Shallow Shoals lately as well. I'm curious what's going on there. I feel like I missed some stuff above. Could we have numbers next to the dot showing how much time is left? Cheese pizza. Oops. Would Sense Magic actually do that? Cat911 says, I just want to say, no matter the direction or outcome of M&M, I've played hundreds of hours in closed beta, absolutely loved it, met some great friends, and somehow got nostalgic hits like it was 1999. I was in high school again and playing EQ1. Looking forward to the future, but just happy with the present. That is extremely kind of you. I'm glad that you were able to do that. I'm glad that you spent hundreds of hours. It's crazy how many people have spent hundreds of hours in the beta. So just on that note, honestly, as somebody that's been around betas for, I mean, I guess this is the only career I've had. I was in the Army. I opened a skate park. I joined the games industry. That's kind of been my adult life. That's not counting like Burger King, Little Caesars, and all that stuff, which according to the internet may still be in my future. But, you know, having been around betas and seeing how hard it is to get people to like stick around and play, it's wild. So I consider it a pretty big success just to know how many of you have played hundreds of hours, and a few of you 1,000+ hours. I just hope you guys. I hope the new car synth doesn't wear off before October. If it does, if you're like, hey, I played a couple hundred hours, it was just like old times, loved it, made a bunch of friends, but now I'm kind of done. You know, buy a couple coffee mugs, buy the socks, buy the thongs. So, you can come back later. Come back once we've added stuff that you haven't seen. The new Geo Metro smell. Oh man, I wanted a Geo Metro so bad. One of the little convertibles. Zukin was in the group in Fallen Watch, and he was RPing as Frank the Tank, and he was a massive tank with an oversized sword. How does it feel being everyone's last hope for a spiritual successor of EverQuest? We're just trying to be a spiritual successor to Tutorial Mode, to D&D E3, 3E, sorry, E3, Industry Habit. I should probably run this lottery, huh? Opt-ins. What's it looking like in CS? I'm sure GM Tam can handle it. Perez Dispenser said, hey Sean, I just made it through the first audiobook of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm obsessed. Just wait. The next book is going to really sink the hook. Nerds the Podcast said, as someone who's been in the beta a month or two, I've had some crazy adventures already. Made a rogue, and me and a buddy sneaked into a random orc dungeon and found underwater boats looking like they were about to launch an attack on Night Harbor. Super fun. And found a beholder, which was scary. That's awesome. That's what we live for, to give you those experiences. Will there be complete beta wiping, or will it just be fresh start servers? It will be... when we go into early access, the only thing that may happen with the beta characters is we may keep that data for like a for a test server or something. But it's basically, it's a fresh start. It is a fresh start. What are the reasons or thoughts behind coffins being 10 gold? Max Payne, if I had to guess, the original reason is probably because we hadn't sat down and done all the balancing work on like how much they should be. So we just made them 10 gold, so it's a bit expensive. Yep. So... Sorry, I just got distracted reading some of the reasons for people wanting to get into beta and liking them and just clicking them. It's worth writing something in there, and it's definitely worth not spamming us with bullshit accounts that are using blatant AI-generated reasons. Do we know the Troll City name yet? We do. Oh, we do. I think I changed it not too long ago, but we do, but we can't say it. Am I working on something in Night Harbor at the moment? I am doing no work at the moment. I'm just talking to you guys. Any plans for name reservation before EA launch? There have been plans that we discussed, and we discussed linking that to whether or not you have filled out the server interest poll. We've discussed that. So that link right there. Do you guys have a priority list for deep dives you're willing to share? We don't have a priority list that we're willing to share. I need to talk to the guys about that and see how they feel about... Should that really be open at the moment? How they feel about prioritizing those in a way where we could communicate it. One of the things that's been happening with some of the deep dive work is, as the guys have been digging in and doing the deep dives and like trying to get at least an initial balance on the classes that we're putting out, Jahar's been digging into a lot of our formulas with greater scrutiny and analyzing the formulas and certain caps and the way certain things are working, and running through that with Zilith and Ali and Runaf, and making a lot of very interesting and beautiful charts and diagrams, and finding some things where it's like, oh, well, shit, this doesn't scale very well. So if we want to be able to do this with this class, then we really need to look at how, let me keep it general, look at how thing X is or isn't scaling relative to thing Y. You know, so we're looking at stats and AC and you know, skills, and so there's been work going on in parallel where it's, hey, we need to dig in and like maybe reevaluate whether or not we want it to work this way and make a change on this thing in order to unlock the ability to have this class use this in that way. So there's that kind of work that's been going on, and it's one of those things where I was just talking to Jahar about that before dinner, and he's kind of like, man, you know, I know it eats up a bit of time. And kind of, it's a bummer that that's time that's not just spent on class stuff, but we're getting the game ready to go into early access. So I think it's better that we are catching that stuff and taking the extra time to hit that now than it's like, what, kick the can down the road or something. So yeah, that's what's been going on. So we're still doing class work. We're still working on the next round of deep dives. We're still tweaking stuff that we've put in already, but we're also spending a fair amount of time like really going through and looking at like, how should this shit work for realsies? So, and anybody out there, if you're watching the VOD or if you're just hearing like sensing a disturbance in the force when I say stuff like that, and you're like, what? But you're only like 3 months out. Yeah. That is true. And that is what it is. And we'll continue to work on that stuff. And because I don't know what to tell you guys, but when we go into early access, we're still going to be working on stuff. That's the point. I like I said before, I think, I don't know, maybe we rebrand early access. People love it when you rebrand things like that at the last minute. It totally doesn't feel like a rug pull. I was thinking it's going to... We could call it, it could be like Beta 2 Electric Paid Boogaloo, or it could be Paid Open Development Access Jammy Jam. Earlier access. It could be earlier access. It could be pre-early access 5. Oh, we could call it layaway. We could call it 1.0 layaway. Did your parents have to do layaway as well? I had Pre-access sounds a bit dirty. I don't know what you're thinking of. Premature access? Now you're taking it even further because it's Friday, isn't it? Gulu gulu. Is October 1st still looking good for launch? Yeah. Brent Cheeks, thank you for the follow. Lost Yogan, you as well. Premature release. 0.5. If anybody from the video game industry watches these streams and or VODs, if I'm ever looking for a job again in the future, please keep in mind that this is all performance, and we were trying out a new thing. It's kind of like a performance. This has been a mockumentary. Premature release wins. Oh my gosh. Premature release. We've got to pitch this to the team. Mockumentary. Do you mind if I ask, do these servers go up to 11? They only go to 11. Hello, Cleveland. Where do you see the game when you're after early access? Is this an interview question? I see it taking your job. Oh my gosh. Premature release. Holy shit. Can we do that? Can we name? Oh, that's so us though. Jenny, do I have your vote on this? I'm sending this. We can do whatever we want. It's true. At least make it into the merch of some kind. It's got a minimum there. Oh. Dude, it's so good, Chinny. So I've got Chinny's vote. I think I've got Zukin's vote. I'm asking some folks right now. Hey, this just came. Pause. This just came up. Pause. This was just discussed on stream. Can we rename early access to premature release and make a really great logo for it and everything? Question mark. All right, who was the first with the premature release? Do I need to scroll up? Are you the only one that thinks it sounds bad? I would hope not. It absolutely sounds bad. I can just imagine how the MMO news sites are going to eat. Can you imagine the disdain that the poor folks at Massively OP will have for that name? No offense, Justin and others at and the logo is just a gnome, like it's a line art gnome head making the O face. You walked in at an interesting time. What's up, everyone? Who was the first person to pitch premature release? I'm scrolling up. I can't find it. I see Gulo Gulo. I think that's the first one. Oh no, Gulo Gulo was premature access. Premium pre-release was Biscuit. Premature release was iTod. Agnosis said it could be, in quotes, "Take it easy, assholes. We're still building a game." That might just be the tagline. What's your favorite race class combo? Where Wolfson asked. Oddly, the thing I had the most fun with recently, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't expecting it. I was just kind of like, I haven't played any goblins, and I was like, I guess I should do a goblin, and then I did a druid, and I've had a blast with them. Todd, I think it was you that that did premature release. The thing with my druid, I've done 0 soloing with him. I hop in groups and have had a good time with him. So that has been, I'm a kind of a gnome anything. I've really had fun with the Human Inquisitor. Todd, if that was you, are you in beta? Do you need anything for that contribution? Do you need anything? I still need to run the damn the lottery thingy. You can tell it's Friday. We're all silly. Okay. Todd, do you need any additional friend invites for that contribution? Stepper TV said, if this stream lasts longer than 4 hours, do I need to see a doctor? I don't experience this premature release you speak of. You will. How many people are still in the lottery that haven't been given access yet? Let me check, since I really, really, really need to do that. 10,251. Just give them the 1990 Metro Geo convertible. Baby blue, Smurf blue. With the white convertible top. So yeah, anybody that's from the industry that is that's watching this, premarital access. That's actually not a bad name either. Though that would have been a good name for beta. Someone made an AI premature release thing already. Is it on Discord? Anodyne79 said, I gotta work in the kitchen, so I won't be here to watch the stream. Can I just have the Inquisitor secrets now? You're not allowed to listen while you work in the kitchen? Is this at home or like at work? It's a job, work. Let me speak to your manager. That AI generated, where is it? It's in Discord? Oh, geez. What have we done? Oh, no. Oh, man. I love it. goodness. Are you ready for it? I can show it here. Everybody's just like, lol, amazing. And then the main Stark just comes in and goes, oh no. I dare you guys to use that? Goblin, can we have something that's not AIR? Can you... Holy shit, this is the best Friday I've had in quite some time, guys. I thank you so much. Valkyrie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. This is a very... this is professional game development at its finest. Monsters and Memories, premature release, 0.5. I don't know, man. I think we might have just made history here today. It's like you get to hang around the office with the team, yeah. And I really do wish that I wish that I had more time and discipline to like pop in and stream more regularly and talk to you guys because of stuff like this. Paradon, thanks for the follow. Oh, this rebrand. This early access rebrand is, oh, it's something. I'll have you know that when I made the logo that my prompt was stopped by ChatGPT. I was like, no, it's a joke. And it made it. It's so gullible. Oh no, Mad Chrome. Can I even say that on Twitch? Premature release. Tagline, the game is coming. This is inappropriate. This is... LinkedIn. I had nothing to do with this, LinkedIn. This is inappropriate. This isn't... The game is coming. But okay, so the only... Alright, I had a... Stepper TV, thanks for the follow. I just had a real legit... The only legit concern I've had with the rebrand. Which I gotta send to the guys. Along with the new tagline. My lady just walked in to see this and said, oh. Hello, lady. Ultima Solus, thank you for the follow. So the only downside that I could see to this is will people think that we're making like a comedy game, right? Well, will they come in and expect like slapstick and whimsy? Right? It's got Leisure Suit Larry vibes. That's the only downside. It's the only downside. But I do think it's a good, like, it'll be our secret name for it. How about that? Don't tell anybody else. It'll just be our secret name. Yeah, we'll keep the meme alive. Early access has a negative associated with it. Kratom, anytime you hear anybody say anything negative about early access, just let them know that we secretly really wanted to call it premature release. And but we were worried that people would not take us seriously. And we're pretty serious. If you haven't noticed. Anodyne, you never know. You know what? How soon is too soon? You just gotta ding faster. How impactful will deity devotion become on our character? Over time, we're hoping that it's got a nice, noticeable impact. All right, we've got to run this lottery. Run lottery. Regular beta lottery. $1,000. Invites per winner, 1. We got to run this lottery, he says, for the 100th time. I know. I'm the problem. You missed it earlier? You had to mute for a work call? You're going to want to watch the VOD pipes. Didn't want to run the lottery prematurely? No. That guy. Or that gi, if you're into jujitsu, I guess. Lost a lot of money in Vegas recently. I hope my wife will be proud if I tell her about my future key. Yeah, well. If you run into any issues, just have her watch the VOD. She'll chuckle. It will elevate her mood. Let me go somewhere to try something. Just make a premature release. Ollie's response, and poor Ollie's, man. He's had a rough time. He's getting ready for a vacation. They wound up having drones and missiles fly back into his country. All right, actually, his plane's taking off right now. Good. He's made it. He's made it to vacation, or he's on his way to vacation now. We've got Ollie's thumb up. Ollie's on vacation. That means production stops. No, that means production increases to 300% as soon as he lands. Qualtos, did you see what happened? Were you in Discord? You'd appreciate this. We got the old Bahrain blessing. Yep. The double thumbs up. Quados that I heard were releasing all over the place. Everywhere. It was sent to you immediately. I can believe it. You have a network of people that scour the internet for this stuff. Dear Graham, was it you? Deep Squats, are you going to stream again when I go to wrap up here so that I can raid you like my original plan before you raided me and ruined everything? Nah, fucks. Thank you for the follow. So I actually don't want to be in this zone. I've got something that I want to go take a look at. That's kind of top secret, but I'm sure you guys won't share. You chortled at your doctor appointment. The dock. I pictured the dock with like the little... Do they still have those little things that they put... The metal round things that they put on their head? Like the... You know what I mean? I think it was meant to reflect light or something, or... I just pictured a dude with that thing and like the stethoscope. And he's like, what's so funny, son? And then you just show him the phone and he's like, ha ha ha. Little knee slap. Little knee slap and your little leg, Muppet leg kicked. That's how you know your reflexes are still top notch. Holy shit, I haven't even had caffeine. What's going on right now? When am I going to be able to teleport and gate with my best friend Donkey? Adam Uzi, we got restrictions on that. That's not how the world works. You can't be cheating around the world with Donkey in tow. You need to actually... You gotta ride that donkey. Can you ride that donkey? Anyone streaming or should I get set up? Deep Squats is supposed to stream. Well, he is pretty useless for a spellcaster with gate. Well, you can't gate with all the stuff that Donkey can carry. See how that works? There's a symbiotic relationship. Deep Squats, are you streaming or is Goblin streaming? This is a serious question. My plan was to raid you. That was my plan. When I came in, you were streaming, and I was like, if he's still around afterwards, I am going to raid Deep Squats. You can take the raid and immediately raid somebody else. Or you can defer. You can defer to a different day. How about that? If you want to defer to a different day, that's fine. So I've run it. We're still processing the queue. There's still about 400 invites that are going out. Any news on caravan mission or what are they going to be called? No news on caravans. That's a separate thing. You're probably asking about expeditions. And no. Squats has keyloggers on Sean's computer, according to Discord. Well, that's unfortunate. Does the character window have or plan to have a biography section for role players? In the early mock-ups it had one. Is it not in there? So yeah, I think so. I don't know why that was. We had like a whole section. Any idea when the next patch will be and the next beast tweaks from the rework? Those are two separate questions. I'd have to go through. I'd have to, because I'm blanking on the date right now. Late night stream? It is in fact a late night stream. If you only knew. Will there be a poll to decide whether the PvP server will be located in US or EU? No, because I doubt that we'll have enough folks to warrant a EU PvP server. Aha. That's a fair point. Thank you, Zillith. We'll probably be a little bit slower on our like hot fixes and pushes while Ali is on vacation the next little bit. Crapthor said I'm still unable to DM you through Discord. Let's see if I can figure out why. Can you tag me on Discord? GH key won't fit in the gilded keyring, by the way. I have not sat down with, I haven't like taken a look with Stab and seen what all has been going on with that, but that should really be less, it should be less complicated. Well, that would be a cool live event, wouldn't it? Little blast from the past here. What am I working on right now? I'm wanting to go into a new area, St. Barker, that we've been working on, that have been mapping out, and I'm wanting to go in and take a look at proportions on something. With the amount of rain in the desert, it doesn't seem out of possibility. Listen, we're very proud of our weather, so we just have it fire off a lot. It may not be like that once we enter premature release. Tag test sent in general. Let me take a look. Hey, Mimi. Zieski or Iski? Let me check general real quick and see. This is a Sean stream unaffiliated with Niche World's Cult, though AI used in development confirmed. I love it. I love that. That's where we landed on that. This is a community contribution. Thank you. I did not create this. Ishki. I like that. Ishki. You may have to remind me. If you come back, you may have to remind me because I might mess it up. I want to see that prompt. Somebody will show you their prompt. The creator will show you the prompt. Let me check general real quick to see. Thor. Okay. I think you have it set to... So I just tried to send you a message, Thor. And it said, your message cannot be delivered. Send a friend request first and start the conversation once they've accepted. I think you need to alter your settings. Okay. Will I be able to access this? I think I will. But just in case, let me move it. No, I should be able to access that. So I'll hit save. Go to zone. Let's see if I can get in. Yeah, it's no problem, Thor. All right, so the lottery is run. How are there enough PvP ones to warrant a run? Is that even how my password works? Someone did mention to me that, you know, some stuff could get figured out there, but there's a lot of things that you'd have to do beyond just have my password to get in here. Listen, don't you never you mind my outfit when I'm doing game development. It's been hot. No, they've been great. We came up with a new name for early access, babe. And they've even worked up a new logo for it and everything.
Well then.
I've already bounced it off corporate. It received a very positive response from corporate. You're triggering my... Or maybe I'm triggering it. Has the green screen been messed up the whole time? This is a very professional stream. It has been? And you didn't say it at any point? You were like, yeah, it's been glitching the whole time. You're like, you're not even helping me out any? You're not helping me out any. We do this for you, and you can't even let me know when my... If you're using a video card, maybe remove background on the NVIDIA broadcast. This is... I just thought it was a very Sean appropriate. Oh, you're trying to say this is a janky ass stream? Deep squats after I was promising to raid you? The mass is adjusted to the standard.
Okay, I think stream is over.
I think stream is over. This is how I spend my Friday? You turds. Okay, let me see if I can fix this really quick. Now I feel self-conscious. Not jank, just unique. It's very 90s. The green screen is a part of the Sean stream bingo sheet. Fair. Okay. That's fair. I mean, it's true. I assume the jank is all intentional. Like I said, this is a scripted entertainment program. This is a mockumentary about game development. Several years ago, somebody said, what if we did like, was it Grandma's Boy? Green screen jank and someone asked about the pinky. Is this an Updog stream? What's up, Swanee? There's an exposure setting? Oh. The exposure setting didn't do it for me. Low light compensations, overcompensating. Is it just because it's darker? It's like my day has been, it seemed a little darker today just in general. Something shifted in the matrix, I think. Bill, it was your fault? Farce, you said, is there any way to confirm that my closed testing opt-in is, well, real and not all imaginary? Swanee, is there any way to confirm that? It tells you when you save the record. How does it tell you, though? Does it send you an email that they could go look up, or...? Is there anything that we could put on their account? If you resubmit the opt-in, would that pose any problems? Pretty sure I've opted in more than once. If you opted in a bunch, then I probably just, it got flagged and I deleted them all. They've all been deactivated. So yeah, you can do it again. Wonder, can we add a message for people that hit the M button to show? Noob. It's old school. That would be mean. Hey, Ashira. What's going on? I gotta scroll back up for the pronunciation of your name. It's been an active stream though, so there it is. Ishki. All right, Ishki. Ishki, with that spelling though, is that like, are you one of our newfound Polish fans? The spelling to the pronunciation just made me think of like Polish for some reason. It's probably a Z. Yeah. I brought up Polish on Duolingo the other night, and I was like, "Oh, that's you! Boom! I nailed it." Yeah, we did speak on Discord. I brought up Polish the other night on Duolingo, and I was like, "Damn, I don't know that I could. I don't know that I can pull this one off." I've been less intimidated by Arabic. Sheer Body Pillow said, "How goes things today? Exciting weekend for me. I got 3 D&D sessions to attend to." Oh, that sounds like a fun weekend. That's gonna be a good time. I said newfound Polish fans because I was thinking you, but I didn't want to like dox any sort of conversation or anything. I always get a little weird. Any announcement on new class reworks today? There is no announcement. What zone is this? This is Glass Flats. Did the thing save? Did my save actually save? Have you not been to the Glass Flats? AMG. Is it? It is. I don't think it's saved. Weird. Glass Flats needs more mining veins. Fair. But they need to be positioned near things that want to kill you. I think that would be fair. All right, so we're gonna be here. Okay, and then we're gonna grab this scene. I mean, this should be possible, right? Here, cool. Then we're gonna go back up to here and hit save. Mining node mimics. They do need to be a thing for sure. Well, you got the asp snake that roams around and the sand ticks. Yep, I did put those in. Okay, so back in and see if we can make this happen. Ooh, dog, it's getting late. Saint Barker, thank you for the follow. I still don't think it's saved. Maybe I'm just doing this wrong, but this worked when I tried it the other day. I swear I've done it this way in the past. Oh, wait. But I ran into problems trying it this way in the past as well because of the extra information, like some of the stuff that's in here. All right, so let me one more time. Because the problem is I can't just zone to the zone because we don't have the data set up yet, which I need to do before Monday probably, but I'm going to be out of town tomorrow. All right, so we'll try this one more way, one more time. We'll come up here. We'll grab this guy. We'll move him here. It'll drop it down there. Then we'll grab this. Put it here. We'll go to it. All right, cool. That should work. We'll hit save. Oh, I noticed that this thing was broken the other day as well. You didn't mention that. You guys don't even watch the stream, do you? Are we removing Feign Death from Shadow Knight? We've had no discussions on that. No. No plan to remove Feign Death from the Shadow Knight. Though we have talked about, and by we I just mean we've jokingly talked about maintaining the functionality of Feign Death, but making it kind of cooler in terms of imagery, aesthetic. Yeah, so this thing up here is broken as well, and you guys didn't say anything. You guys are, I don't know if we're all actually friends now that I think about it. You guys are not looking out for me. Refresh cache of current page. This widget up here is this Streamlabs widget isn't working anymore, apparently. Because it's just showing a bunch of resubs, which subs aren't even turned on. So let me look it up. You know what? I'll fix it off stream. It'll just have to stay messed up for this one. Okay, so we've saved this. Let's go back to zone. Glass flats needs electrical storms that rebound between crystals. Too much sunlight creates discharges. That's actually pretty cool. It's funny, we've talked about a similar storm effect for a different zone. So maybe we, if we do the one zone the way we were hoping to, maybe we can learn from it and do something with regards to glass flats. I need to post that we've done the lottery. So news. We've just run a new random divide. cool. Lottery has officially been run. I kind of want to just have us get the class revamp roadmap in place. And that just get it posted. But we'll wind up having one less thing to discuss on stream. So is it in here? Did it? Okay, it is in here this time. Okay, good. I can finally do this thing I've been trying to do for a while. Really like it if the nature of undead was to create a fog around where they are in any zone, and you use special light to push the fog away for travel. It would give a great immersion ambiance. It could even be more dense or more powerful for dangerous areas. X06, I've been wanting to do that mechanic with like a lamp forever. With a magic lamp. All right, finally. Now where's my dude? Where's the doohickey? Does it not show if I... There I am. Okay. Is this what I was scrolling on earlier? Yep. Backrooms dungeon. Alright, so this is definitely... The scale is not what's expected. Oh wait, that's me. No, don't want to scale me up. Have you guys seen Backrooms yet? Pretty good? Cool. Yeah, no spoilers, please, but... Obsession was amazing? Is it scary? Like scary? Is it just kind of like... A little like, ah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to I used to love horror a bunch, but now I'm kind of... I don't like, you know... I'm good with without. I don't need to bring in all that I don't need you putting that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I don't need to be like creeped out anymore. Apparently my character has experienced, oh. I was like, my character was eating some of the deep gnomes special mushrooms. Fear isn't good for you. I avoid that stuff too. Yeah, I used to love it. I used to love it, but I don't. I'm not a fan anymore. But something like, you know, like a monster movie, I'm not as worried about. But adrenaline is second only to caffeine. Well, I'll stick with my caffeine. I get my adrenaline from fighting the man. Watched Project Hail Mary recently. Would recommend. I recognize that name. Oh, okay. But Goblin, the back rooms are not that's just different. It's not like evil demon scary time, right? Because I'm like I know the, you know, I know the basic story and stuff. I just you guys are saying the movie wasn't good. Well, but I'm sorry. If Baloo liked the movie, then I will give the movie a chance. Hey, Ashen Forge. I need to set the data up for the zone and Where is my character? Yeah, no, Goblin, if you're talking to me, I've assumed you were saying the things you were saying. But if you're talking to somebody else, okay. I have a question, if you'd be so kind. Is the team looking at helping the new player when it comes to questioning systems with prompts and helping the new player experience adapt to this playstyle? Yes. It's funny you should ask. Loki and I were talking about this earlier today even. And work is already being done to help make some of the initial baby steps into messing with our approach a little bit easier. So we have a list of first time user experience stuff that we're going to be going through, and seeing if we can make life a little bit more intuitive. So we've had a list of things we've wanted to mess with for a while now. It's just it's been prioritized behind other stuff. Make sure the exclamation marks for the quest givers. Yes, of course. Diplomacy was a very cool game. Flood 686 said there's such an engaging hook once the loop clicks for you and once you fall into the community, but if you're not used to this type of game, the lack of hand-holding, new user experience for so many quitting moments for new players. I've lost count of the number of people who try to get into EQ, but I wasn't around to guide them. They just brick-walled. See, that's why you've got to be around for your people at all times. That's how critical it is. But yeah, we'll be looking at first time user experience and seeing what we can do to make life a bit easier without changing the feel of the game. It's one of your biggest failings. Oh, it's okay. You can improve. Be there for them next time. Premature exclamations. You like my booty shorts? Dude, these are my getting work done. This is my getting work done outfit. Man, I've got a little slosh in the tank, huh? Can't be running on E. Clearly not. Borderline lederhosen energy. Yeah, these are my German work shorts. Can we get lederhosen in the game? Official gnomish lederhosen. We'll keep it on the list. All right, so I think when it's all said and done, Officer Rando, thank you for the follow. Well, but now this all seems too big. Maybe was I just in a weird place before? Goodness. My simple scale test that I was trying to get done. And I think we'll ever consider LLM dialogue stuff for making conversations more responsive and thorough. We will never use technology to make this game. We have signed a no technology agreement. We'll be posting it on our website. There will be no technology used in the making of this game in order to make sure that nobody in the online community freaks out. My green screen did not freak out. I think you lied. It did freak out. Okay. Why did it freak out? It's because I said the no technology thing, isn't it? Oh, it is, isn't it? I was just kidding. I was kidding, computer. Why are you freaking out? No, we won't talk off stream. No. Alright, you guys just have to deal with a janky ass stream. Have you guys considered the prospect of ears or heads from player kills on a PvP server? We've discussed ears. Where that you wear 2 heads on your shoulders. How do you like the stealth changes in terms of PvP? It seems like there's 0 counter and rogues can do whatever, whenever. I'll be honest with you, I have not been paying explicit attention to that. Is Cross in here by any chance? No key, St. Barker. Anything you see at the moment, everything you see is unofficial. This is all in development behind the scenes. This is premature development. This is even pre white box. The Escher Maze dungeon, yes. So actually, I think the proportions wind up being... Well, this isn't supposed to be so deep. This is only supposed to be like a little bit of a gutter kind of thing. This is better. The sewers? A sewers. Easy to fix if the gutters are filled with chocolate milk or some kind of swim-friendly liquid. This is true. See you, Chat Solo. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather. Be safe. Devin Nash. Do you know how many... Hey, Devin. First of all, very cool to see you again. Do you know that you turned me on to Excalibur and I'm using it this very day? I saw it on one of your streams and I was like, what is he using? That looks so much better than what I've been using. So I've been using that. Assuming it's the real you because there's a check marks there. Do you know how many like weird ass... I get so many people shooting me random DMs saying that they're you with fake Devin Nash accounts. I use Excalibur a ton, and the guys use Miro, but I like it. I honestly like Excalibur a lot better. Whenever I need to give quick notes or basically anything I'm working on, I tend to have like do I have any where I can... I mean... I can't show that. Can't show that. I can't actually show you, but I can... Maybe if I mouse over my windows, you can see it in the background a little bit. Do I have one that I could just like... Got a billion of them. Yeah, anytime I'm doing note stuff, I don't think this is any spoilers. But anytime I'm doing note stuff, I'm usually in here. It's vector based, so it's really easy to kind of come in and like, you know, I just grabbed, the way the project works is we take a ton of screens. We're constantly, because most of the time we're working async. Yeah, it's like Miro. To me, this feels a lot, the feel is nicer. Miro is good for like a lot of the class stuff we've been doing in Miro. But I like the I just like the feel of it. I don't know, it feels softer, friendlier, warmer. And so it's easy to get in and make notes on something. We'll take a screen of something and just be like, all right, hey, I was in here. And it's easy to just like throw it in. Cool. But what about if we added this other thing in? Let me go full screen so I can. It's like, hey, but what if there is this thing here? There's a doorway. Oops. And I do that a lot because I don't like the background. And it's just case in point. Right. And so we'll do something, you know, along that. And it's just like, okay. And it's just easier for us to communicate stuff really quickly. Like these guys are all just, I was putting these in to talk about like breaking up the cave space. So yeah. Anyway, Devin said, yeah, I have a lot of scammers on Discord. I actually have to work with Discord to ban them, but they VPN and create hundreds of accounts. Yeah, so the last one that hit me up about beta access, I was like, I granted the account beta access, and then I immediately banned it and sent it an email and was just like, hey, if you're the actual Devin, hit me up. And oh yeah, because that wasn't even on Discord. That was just like fake email addresses. Yeah, so Devin said classic MMOs. Scroll up. Think of doing a video about classic MMO development since we're in such a good timeline for it. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I remember you popping in early in development here. The game looked a lot different. Ashenforge said, I have a question that might have been asked before. Apologies. If you were gifted a key, would you be taken out of the drawing 4 keys? I have a few community members wondering if they should wait for access or a friend invite. Swanee, are you still in here? Did send an app for beta. That might have, I basically I granted it and banned it and then sent an email as part of the banning that said, if you are the real you, contact me. And I swear, however I did it made sense at the time. Though, as I explain it now, I'm like, not quite sure how I would expect you to contact me since I just banned you. Swanee said, if you use a key to gain access, your application gets marked approved. You're still in the running if you use a PvP key because then you'd still be in the pool for an upgrade, if that makes sense. So, if you got a friend invite to the PvE server, then you're no longer in the running, is another way of saying it. Devin Nash, if you're still there, we have a professional question for you from earlier in the stream. You weren't here. You did? So that was you? Okay. Okay. Professional opinion. We're thinking about rebranding early access because there's a lot of stigma that comes with early access. And so the stream chat came up with a good new name. We're discussing various ways of rebranding the name. Early access, Beta 2, Electric Boogaloo was not accepted. And we opted to not use anything involving the words Jammy Jam. But somebody on the stream had a great name. And then somebody else went ahead and used the future to create the logo. So what if we rebranded early access to premature release? LOL, Jesus. Is that a yes? Oh. With that, how do you think that the MMO media, the MMO journalists would pick up on this and run with it? Do you think they would accept our rebranding? Updating the web app now. You need that t-shirt. I think we'll get Goblin to make real art for it, and we will probably at a minimum make a t-shirt out of it for the merch store. Real answer is I think the demographic is mostly 35 plus, male, female. It is mostly 35 to 44-year-old males, according to the internet. And they would have a good sense of humor about it, having gone through a lot of the EA game dev journey from its beginning and remembering the whole way here. Plus, they'd have followed all the difficult Kickstarter campaigns from other MMOs. They'd appreciate the honesty, humility, and humor. +1 from me. Guys, we've had a lot of wise people chime in on this evening, and it's getting harder and harder to deny that premature release may actually be a thing that we take seriously. Did I just say it's getting harder and harder to deny? What is wrong with you guys? You're so immature. It is Friday. It is Friday. It's Friday. You don't have no jobs. Friday plus good community. It's true. And you ain't got shit to do. That is true, Olgo Dev. Just remember it's coming soon. Honestly, I think we're pretty down to go with again, this is AI art from the community, so we would do our own. But premature release, that wasn't the tagline. The tagline that you guys came up with was the game is coming. The only downside that we saw so far, and it's a serious one, is we would want it to. Hey, Justin Beer, what's going on, buddy? Oh, you mocked it up already? We might be getting serious here. The only downside is that people might think that we're kind of like the Leisure Suit Larry of MMOs. And we're pretty serious. Yeah, it has to. We'll have the art be serious. but then we'll what? I mean, not that the name isn't serious, for goodness sake. The problem is, we wouldn't be making this game in the first place if it wasn't for you people in chat being Weisenheimers and discussing the what ifs about, like, what would we want in an MMO if we made our own MMO? And money was no concern because we don't have any. And yeah, so what are you going to do? Lead us astray? You can't possibly lead us astray. What's the quote? What good was the chat if the chat is what got you here? Except in this case, the chat got us here, and we're pretty stoked so far. So, okay, scale-wise, I don't think this is off. We've got to bring up. This wasn't meant to be 1 unit deep. So, the process that we have is actually we used a similar process to. Basically, Bjorn and I did a similar thing with Black Tide Bay, where I make a map. Yes. And then we turn off all of the hatching and all the other stuff to make it very clean. And then he puts it into his magic 3D machine. And then we extrude walls, and that gets us the base. So this is quite literally the map. But in this area where stuff's green, it's too deep, right? So all that green just needs to be kind of like a gully. And Devin said EQL pulled 48,000 paid accounts for beta. I think there's a huge opportunity for M&M over the next couple of years. It's a gradual marketing cycle for this kind of genre, but finding ways to differentiate the brand is ideal during that journey. Yeah, I mean, we've tried to. So there are two things there. One, we've tried to maintain a distinct feel, even when that distinct feel is controversial. We're nothing if not polarizing. And so we've really tried to take care to not we don't do things just to do them. I would say 95% of the time. We spend a lot of time talking about like what impacts some of these things we're doing or not doing have. We go back and forth on pretty much everything and then lock it in. But, we keep a lot of the rough edges and stuff because at times we're like, well, if we get rid of that rough edge, then does that really start to erode what kind of like forces some of the social interaction, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm not going to go through that whole spiel. There's that. On the other part of what you mentioned, I keep hoping that we have a smaller initial release than could potentially occur, because I look at there's a lot of interest in EQL, like a ton, and a lot of positive interest in EQL. If you look at the engagement on the Reddit and the videos and stuff, even with the monetization announcement, there were a few negative videos, but then for the most part, when I was looking at like Reddit and stuff like that, people are like, yeah, whatever. And I think overall they're in a good place to do well. And I mean, that's coming off of the Hero's Journey, which had a lot of interest as well. If you look at Pantheon's initial release, that was, I mean, people forget they did really well on Steam, but that's also Steam. But 115,000 early access, like, purchases at $40 is nothing to sneeze at. And their decline was fairly standard. It seemed like 30% month over month, with no real big uptake in terms of like something big that kind of like flattened out or created a new hump to kind of like drop it down, which, I mean, all of that's pretty standard stuff. I would hope, yeah, when they went, if you go back and look, we were following it when they went into early access on Steam. The last number I saw was 115,000 purchases, plus all of their existing patrons. And I think they were at like 6,000 CCU, which means their DAU, at 6,000 CCU, their DAU is probably minimum, what, 12,000? Probably more like 18,000 if I had to guess. They're daily actives. And so that's what we've been tracking. We post our metrics and stuff. I don't know if you've seen our updates. We try to be as thorough as possible with stuff that we can throw out there that we think people may care about, like in our updates. So if you look at our updates, you'll see for the last playtest, we had 10,000, and this was like a slower playtest for us, but it was a playtest where we're competing with the fact that a lot of people played the game. They've made their decision, either they're not going to play it, or they're bought in, they won in beta maybe, or a lot of people are telling us, hey, I played a bit and I just want to come back. I want to come back for early access or premature release, whatever you want to call it. So we had PoE, we had the weather was good, we had EQL was going into beta during that period, and pretty much everybody was streaming that. And so for us, it seemed like it was a bit slower, but it was still over that period of time, 10,000, which lines up with our previous. And then, naturally there's the initial hump on daily uniques, but then kind of flattened out nicely. But what you see here is like, for us, we kind of see a fairly standard, if we're at about 1,200, 1,400 daily active users, like peak, then for it to be about 4,000, sorry, not daily active users, 1,200, 1,400 concurrent users, then we tend to be at about like 4,000 DAU. And that's kind of the formula I've always just seen on like the smaller niche stuff that I've worked on in more recent years. It's kind of like CCU times 4, and then your monthly active users tends to be something like your DAU times 4 again. And so looking at Pantheon's like 115 plus patrons, and if anybody is out there from VR, if I've been saying the wrong numbers, feel free to either send me a DM or speak up here. But I've been pretty positive about Pantheon's numbers over the years, just because when they came out, you look at it, it was I think it lines up, if you look at 6,000 concurrent, maybe 24,000 daily actives, and then 4 times again is about 100,000 monthly actives, which lines up with their initial sales, roughly, assuming some amount of initial churn. And then watching that taper off, I could have sworn it was kind of like 30-ish% month over month, which is better than like a 2-month sort of like precipice, what is the actual English for that? Big drop, where, if you look at bigger games where it's like a 90% or an 80% drop in the first 2 months. It just kind of like gradually, and, for early access MMOs, if we go live and we don't have a ton of content, or things are still in flux, or classes are being worked on or not in yet, or races or whatever, then it kind of makes sense that you're going to see that decline. I would expect even more so So that's why I feel like they actually had a stronger showing than people give them credit for. But at some point, you've got to have those big sort of like, everybody gets hyped again. You know, whether it be a big content drop or, you know, wrapping up some things like the classes races or whatever. So for us, when we were looking at a June release, we were thinking, okay, and then a few months after that, we'll get into the deep, and the deep is an easy thing for us to package. It's like, it's the deep. You're finally going underground, and you get access to the deep elves and the deep gnomes, and so it seemed like that would be a good way to like regain a PR opportunity, make a splash, and get people reinterested a few months after the initial release. But when we were looking at the state of the game going into essentially, you know, that early target of June, we're like, that doesn't make sense. Let's see if we can bundle it all up, and then by October release with the deep, and release, you know, essentially all of the Zur region, the desert region with Night Harbor. We'll have the Fail and Draw zones, the Califrey zones with Fail and Draw and Evershade, and then we'll go into the deep with AV having the deep elves, having the deep gnomes. So the main thing that we're really looking at as well with trying to get the extra content is to try to split up the number of starting areas, because we know a lot of people are going to be interested in deep elves and deep gnomes. In getting the deep in, we get the Underdocks, which is a great zone as a starting area. We get Elvareth with the deep elves and deep gnomes. Then we've got Night Harbor, and we've got Evershade. So it splits people up a bit more. Are you going to get into the deep before pre-release? Yeah, the deep will be available. We're pushing hard this month to try to get it so that the deep zones can get into beta. And we show some of that stuff in this update. If you scroll down and look at the art. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, we publish like our expenses and expense updates and stuff like that. The other thing, one of the biggest questions for us is actually how we're going to manage customer service. So we track a lot of data on the customer service side. Our GMs they've been doing a phenomenal job. For beta, we pretty much provide like a 24/7 support cycle with pretty fast response times, but this was from the playtest. And we're kind of keeping an eye on what's eating up our time and how that will scale. Because one of the biggest things for us, not being instanced, having a play nice policy instead of a lot of systemic support for like first to engage or whatever. We know it's going to ride on like the experience and teaching the community what the rules are and all that stuff. So Devin said, I have enormous respect for anyone trying to make an MMO, and without reaching that, I would pretty confidently say you just don't have the problems Pantheon's Step Cycle had. I'd expect your DAUs to consistently increase with content updates all the way through and past release, depending on the dev cycle. I appreciate that. I think we have been blessed in a number of areas to basically have stability and just kind of like forward progress. The main question we have is just, it's a hard game to get into. We'll look at some things we can change on the first time user experience without dumbing the game down or without changing the vibe. And then the question is just retention. Once people have been grinding for a while, do they stick? But like you can see here, and this was just back then. Since then, this number's gone up, but we've had basically 10% of the people in beta play for more than 250 hours, with 518. So like 3% of our closed beta people have played for 500 to 1,000 hours. So it'll be curious, but hopefully people like what we've done enough that even if they run out of stuff, they're excited to see the other 80% of the world and see that experience. So feel like the engagement for a beta where characters are going to be wiped. We've got friends that are close to the project that are like long time industry people, blah blah blah, who have like hit 60 twice, and they're like, okay, now I'm going to play some PoE or whatever and wait till October, unless they get a chance to hop into like some of the new content that comes out, like Fall and Watch. Devin said, at your current CCU DAU numbers, even a couple of YouTubers, broadcasters featuring can completely change your numbers, whereas Pantheon had a lot of saturation in the classic MMO community without the content updates to go with it. Yeah. And this is the one area where I get a little like apprehensive, because while we have loved the kindness and attention that we've gotten, especially from like classic WoW people, classic WoW streamers, we've had a lot of people reach out behind the scenes and hop in and play, and some people have actually played on some of their streams, like side streams and stuff like that. I would rather that we get that hit later next year, and it would be nice to just have people come in as the game continues to get refined and gets hardened and there's more stuff to do. But hey, Iski, oh man, I hope I'm not messing that up again. Said, would you be open to answer some of the questions about topics that are being mentioned often in Discord, Reddit? I think this kind of Q&A would work well. Not now, through email, etc. From you, if you want to hit me up, I'll see what you're thinking. I'm happy to answer. Stuff like, it's harder to do on stream because I got to kind of off the top of my head it. But if it's something where I can ask the team and get better answers for you, then that's cool. 100% agree, but you also don't have even close to saturation in content world. I think QL showed there's a lot of people open to this sort of game if it's put in front of them. We'll have to see how their numbers hold, but pretty encouraging for MMO, I think. Yeah, I think overall, even if for whatever reason any of these games don't have their best initial start, if the ecosystem of classic style games continues to remain healthy enough that people keep talking about it, then I wouldn't be shocked if people come back and try something a little later and like, oh, did it improve? Or oh, I heard they added this, let me check it out again, that kind of thing. That said, I mean, some people just hard churn and that's that. And then people are definitely, people have been really good about like letting other people know and sort of we've done all this with word of mouth, right? Like we paid for no marketing. That wasn't the point I was going to make, but I got sidetracked reading Quatos. But anyways, yeah, we post all this information in our updates. This actually goes all the way back to the beginning of the beta wipe. Because we like putting this information out because we'll read a lot of times where people will look at, we're showing we'll show like the CCUs, but Swanee has updated that. So I think the community hub, we've got more information posted now. So you can kind of see, because people will just look at this number and be like, oh, there's only 191 people in beta and only 527, game dead. It's just like, yeah, it's a curve, and I would like to get more and more as we go into when we go into early access, it would be nice to basically just maintain dashboards that provide all this info, because we'd rather have all the info be there, and maybe some people not read it right or whatever, but have all the info there instead of people honing in on like the wrong metric and being like, oh, game dead. But yeah, and then people ask like, okay, if you're doing the lottery so frequently, shouldn't that number just keep going up and up and up? And it's like, well, there's going to be churn, guys. There's going to be churn that we see right here within the first hour, where there are people that come in during playtests. Maybe better here. People come in and they're like, nope, can't find my guild master. You know, mud actions, unintuitive, got killed by a rat 3 times, and they just, or hey, it wasn't performing well on my machine, and they just bounce. And then that, you know, we look at these and it's been pretty consistent over the play tests. And then what we have a tendency to do is we'll look at kind of like day by day numbers and stuff like that as well. And we'll see how many of these people actually, this column will get smaller as they start to like work their way up. And we're seeing, okay, we haven't done a lot of like, we haven't done any real cohort sort of tracking and stuff, but once we go into early access, we'll be doing that for sure. But yeah, that's us, little indie volunteer MMO that we try to be pretty open with our info, so people can't be like, you know, talking their shit. Swanee, enjoy your steak burrito and your hot babe. Have a great weekend, buddy. Enjoy the fam. Cohort tracking. So essentially, you know, there are different ways to do it, but like cohort tracking is essentially analyzing a chunk of players, in our case, over a period of time, and we say, okay, this cohort started together, or this cohort is linked by some common factor. So you may do that type of tracking. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an expert here. Usually I rely on biz dev and performance marketing people or whatever, but I've been in meetings, so I retain some of it. So the what it would be is like, say we had a special promotion and we worked with a partner. We got that Mountain Dew affiliate code or something, right? Or we did a campaign, and so then we had an influx of like 1,000 people, and that's the Mountain Dew people. Or we did a promotion, or we just did it by date. It was like the people that came in during this period versus the people that came in during that period. And then you can look at their metrics across, you know, over time. So you look at, did they churn at different points in the funnel, or are they consistent? Is everybody sort of consistent where they churn in the funnel? So it's like, did they quit before they, you know, left registration? Did they make it from registration to downloading the game and installing? Did they make it into the game? Did they last more than 4 minutes, right? I think was one of our things. And then you can start to look, did they complete a quest? Did they group? Did they do this other stuff? What is the retention looking like after the first hour, first day, 3 days, 7 days? Did they last more than 4 minutes? What are you, a god? Listen. We're here for you. You can last longer if you just think of metrics the whole time. Oh no, I didn't make it. Oh shit, it's creeping up on midnight. This is not a quick stream after all. That's the best way to get a longer stream, I guess, is just for me to say it's going to be a quick one. That's how I trick myself. Don't you worry about the beta key gating is just holding back the flood that would all start and then stop. It would seem to keep a steady rate of churn, but it is really just hiding a large drop off you could see. It's late for me, so let me think through what you're saying. Don't you worry that the beta key gating is just holding back the flood that could start in it. So I guess the question is, if X% of the total number of players that tried a game are going to churn based off their experience with the game, does it matter how many of them we get if we see consistent behavior? So this is almost more of like a sampling. And we don't just track the beta metrics. Like the metrics you were just looking at are the open beta metrics, right? So that's an open play test, and they tend to be consistent with closed beta as well. Did we make him taller? Zukin. Is the DE taller all of a sudden? I swear they were short when I saw him in Rothold. But anyway, to your point, Disenchant. So I think the idea is that it kind of serves as like just a sampling. And so the theory is, and we could be wrong, the theory is that if every time we run a test, we see like 30% churn, within that first hour, then we'll see that. So say if we did get 100,000, because we're on Steam and we did get 100,000 like Pantheon did, then we'd expect 30,000 to churn. Like we would assume that going into it. It's bias sampling. A beta key program seems to collect a hardcore. It could be. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't know how to get clean data for a lot of this stuff. So most data I've seen is biased in some way or another. And so it just kind of like we get a feel for it and then see what happens. But I think that's actually one of the problems I've seen as the industry got more sophisticated and started to get very into like trying to be more and more data driven, without even considering like the recursive impact of those decisions. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. I was just talking to a systems designer buddy of mine, where you wind up with these self-reinforcing, like you had 3 options and we picked the strongest of the 3 options, and then we added some. Basically, you start having the data starts to bias itself because you're no longer getting everybody. Anyway, I'm not going to explain it very well. It's midnight. You're reducing other potential options because you're starting to select for the things that you're assuming perform well over time, based on the initial options that you provided. Anyway, I've seen people like really start to get super like teams of business intelligence folks or data analytics folks or whatever, and performance marketing people, and they're like, they just keep getting weirder and weirder in the data, and at no point did they like just bring their heads up and be like, is any of the shit we're doing the least bit interesting or interesting to us, or does it feel good? Like, if we brought in a sampling of players and put it in front of them, like, what would they, you know? But even that gets weird then, right? Because if it's like, oh, we need a focus group, like focus test everything. And then you start discussing, you know, and it's a fair point. At my previous company, I was not a teen or tween girl. And so a lot of times when we were making decisions, they would come up and be like, yes, but you're not the target audience. So do you really understand what they need? And it's just like, I don't know, man, but good luck getting a bunch of teen and tween girls in here to develop your games. How about we just try to use some common sense? Because then if you do focus tests, is that a true sampling? All right, so we brought in these, 20 people, but is that a broad sampling, or are they all from my guild, or are they all our relatives? Right, like... yeah, X06, you don't have to worry about us getting too caught up in like metrics or other stuff like that. We're too busy renaming our early access to inappropriate things. I'm trying to find an elevator that's down so I can go up there and show you guys the coolness. Is it possible to correlate sort accounts by the number of days since last logged in? Yeah. Use the grappling hook. We were just talking about how to make the grappling hook easier for people to understand. Yeah, with this game, honestly, the thing that we've just tried to like keep in mind the most is whether or not we genuinely think it's cool. How confident am I on the October 1st day? Very confident. Barring something like breaking, and then it's got to be October 2nd or something. But like a full kind of bump to November or something like that, it's not happening. Can it be October 1st already? Please don't do that to us. Because finding the thousands of people that agree with your idea of cool, if you were them, where would you be hanging out? If I was them, I'd be hanging out with me. October 1st is your birthday? Oh. Provide me with proof of ID, and maybe there will be a birthday gift for you. Look how cool this view is. Can you see it? I actually don't have the stream thingy up. I'm so excited for this zone. Do you guys think this is going to be busier than West Bank? Dude. And this is just the under Night Harbor zone. Does this city have a nightclub? It does. Should make the bottom of the lift more cage-like. Oh, that'd be scary. That's a good idea. This is brighter than it will be, but the work lights are still on. Do I have the ability to change the light? Mimnock, you just got to make sure you don't give me any personal information that I shouldn't have. If Chinny was in here, he could tell me how to do this the right way, probably. Or Simon. Hint. Are D-picks okay? I mean, I guess that's kind of a personal question. If you send it to me, do you expect to be critiqued? That's not what I was looking for. Thoughts on combat? Feels disconnected, slow? I enjoy combat. I don't know. I guess it's kind of dependent on your expectations for combat. Depends on what year your birthday is too. Yeah, actually, nobody send me any pictures of anything. Thank you. I played Closed Beta. Combat feels disconnected, slow. What are your thoughts on it? Okay, that's the original question. Like, what? I enjoy it, so I'm curious. Like, what was your expectation? Hey, Sayheim. I think there are a few things. There are some things we could do to make it feel a little more impactful or connected in certain ways. But overall, I mean, I enjoy it. I find the game enjoyable. It meets my expectations on that front. Hits don't feel impactful, I guess. And do you think that's mostly a an issue with like hit response? I see the hit in a health bar, but lack of action and impact. No, I can see there's something there. It's one of the things, like, I'm not a fan of floating combat text at all, but the fact that it's nearby and gives you like a little bit of visceral feedback, I definitely understand the value of something like that. So having additional feedback for hits and misses, that's a little bit easier for your brain to just kind of process subconsciously, I guess. Is good. The sounds do help. I think we've asked in the past if there's something that could be done like with just sort of subtle effects to make it kind of give more of a, yeah. Archer just said we'll be exploring hit VFX, hit animations, audio, hit particles, sparks. Yeah. So yeah, those things I can definitely. I think if you're thinking, along those lines, I do think there's additional stuff that we could be trying to make that feel more impactful. If you're just thinking like general pacing or animations, or if you're coming from more of a background of action combat versus like tab target. Guys, it is midnight. I need to wrap up. One of the big draws in the game is trade skills, but it seemed like they aren't a priority so far. I think, we've done what we can. We've got a person, Rift is dedicated to him, but we haven't been able to support him as much as we'd like to, just because we're pretty stretched thin. So yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like ZBrush said, I've only been streaming like once a week lately. Just because I think I've mentioned this in the past. If the opportunity presents itself to spend that time in the evening with the team, or something, align with people that are on North American time, then I'll definitely default to that rather than stream. I'll be AFK tomorrow for wedding. And then I'll be back at it for the rest of the week. So. Yeah. Rick HC, thank you for the follow. Chevin11, you as well. Did Deep Squats ever start? Did you start up to stream? We're gonna raid Deep Squats if he started streaming again. Hey, Keeps. The brighter light was just the light settings in the zone, Recknell. Thanks for the follow, Sheepfu. You're going to defer Goblin, Zach. Is anybody streaming? All right, I owe you one Deep Squats. Blood is 686. I have a good one as well. Goblin is. Okay, let's raid Goblin then. He will draw you some pretty pictures. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great week next week. I probably won't see you until later in the week. Always nice seeing you guys. Let's raid Goblin. I'm clicking the raid start button now. Hey. It's Rimsky, thank you. See ya, Thor. See ya, Quatos. Alright, everybody. Looks like we've capped out on the raiding. If you don't come in with us now, you know where to find them. Everybody have a great weekend.